Let's thank you. Let's salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, October 24th. It's 5 p.m. This is the regular meeting of the planning board for the Village of Sag Harbor. And we have 5 of us up here tonight. Ron Reed is not here, so Grania steps in from being an alternate to being a full voting member. So there we have it. And we have Doris with us and Liz Vale. And at some point, I'm expecting someone from Nelson Pope and Voorhees to show up on Zoom. Let's get going. Have you all had a chance to see them, look at the minutes that were emailed to us? Yep. Yes. And if you're happy with that, I'll take a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Seconded by Grania. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Thank you. This is our number 3 is public comments and questions. I'm always hoping for more people to show up at the planning board meetings. It's not the most popular place in town, but and there is a person in the audience. If you, okay, very good. There's no one online. There's no one on Zoom, is there? As well. Okay, so we'll skip over that. Number 4, pre-submission conference. Is number 1 is Page Main Street, Maine LLC, Page Restaurant, 63 Main Street. It's a pre-submission conference and public hearing. We're here today, I think, to set up the public hearing and pre-submission conference for next month.
That's correct. So this is there's been a resolution, I think, that was sent to all the board members, which is basically saying that the board receives the application and that it requires site plan review by Village Code Section 314.3, and that you're required to hold a pre-submission conference hearing on the application pursuant to Village Code Section 300-14.5A, and then it resolves, the planning board resolves to set the public hearing for November 28th, 2023 at 5 o'clock p.m. or as soon as thereafter they can be heard by the board. And we just ask you to vote on that resolution.
Okay. November 28th is when is Thanksgiving?
It's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
The following Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, 23rd is Thanksgiving.
Is that the right date, Doris? It's usually the 3rd Tuesday of the month, right?
But that's Thanksgiving, so it's probably maybe the one after.
We've historically, I think, moved it forward.
Did you move it?
We did not move it.
Oh, okay.
But that was having the same question I think you were, and like
It's the 4th Tuesday of the month.
Right. I know around the holidays, we sometimes shift things around.
Okay.
But I'm not saying I need to or want to, but I want to make sure that we're. In the past, we've moved things forward, but to the Tuesday just before Thanksgiving, if that's better for everybody involved.
Yeah, Thanksgiving was the 23rd, right?
Yeah, 23rd.
Thanksgiving is the 23rd. Yeah.
The Tuesday before is ZBA, so
Right.
the second Tuesday of the month is always village board meeting. The next one is always ZBA, and then the next Tuesday is your board.
Okay. So
So you can pick another day, but
okay. Are we?
I don't know when ARB is. I think it's
The second Thursday.
the second Thursday.
It's fine.
I'm fine on the 28th.
Oh,
You're fine for that date?
Well, we meet what, the 29th, right?
We would meet on, this would be on November 28th. It would be a Tuesday.
Wait a minute, November 28th, that's Sunday.
No,
Wait, what am I
November
looking
28th
at?
is a Tuesday.
Got the wrong year.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
am I looking at?
Here's I don't know, but here's the calendar here. Here's the calendar. There it is there.
Okay,
Let's just go with it.
now where are we now?
28th.
So today we're October 24th. So we're a
Right.
month ahead. We're talking about next month.
Right,
So I just want to make sure that it's not conflicting with holidays. Fine, let's leave it where it is. Be happy to leave it there. Good. So if I understand you, Liz, that's the resolution.
Yeah.
And we just need to adopt that. If we think, I think it makes sense that we're not going to discuss the matter today, but certainly at next month, we can hear from the applicant, and then we'll have more things to discuss at that point.
Exactly.
Sound good?
And have a hearing, right?
Correct.
It'll be a public hearing. That's right. That's
And
right.
then within 30 days, Nelson Pope, before he issues a report indicating all the potential issues and feedback from the board for the applicant.
That's right.
Yep.
Good. So we've done this before. It's still a little bit new for us, but we can do that again. So I'll accept, if we're happy with that, I'll accept a motion to,
So moved.
okay, thank you, Kay. Seconded by Nat. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Very good. Thank you, Liz. Old business, number 100 Glover Street LLC.
John,
Yes.
we have John on.
Oh, we do. Good. Excellent.
We have the applicants for 100 Glover Street.
Excellent. Come on up to the,
Yeah, Brian, does that Brian wants it?
Yeah, there he is.
okay, so we have John Ellsworth is logging in. Is that what's happening?
No.
I'm good. Somebody's good.
Think I'm in.
Hello there.
Hello.
Sean Ellsworth from Nelson Pope Voorhis, who is our environmental consultant. And okay, so this is a subdivision. We have this is we've handled this before. It was about a year ago.
Yep.
So we had a preliminary, I guess the word is preliminary subdivision or something like that. It's back to us now for finalization, I believe, of the subdivision of the plot. So
Brian DeSessa is on, he's the applicant, he's representing the applicant.
Oh, that's Brian?
Present first, it's up to you.
is that Brian up there?
Yep.
Oh.
It is.
Hello, Brian. I didn't
Nice.
recognize you. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. I apologize for being in Zoom. I was trying to get there. I was just a little delayed, so my apologies.
Not at all. Not at all. Brian, if you want to discuss this a little bit, I'm happy to give you the floor.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So as you said, Mr. Chairman, you've seen this before. We had we had a preliminary approval of the map. Then we had a conditional approval where we had to meet conditions with the health department, covenants, restrictions, and otherwise, which we filed everything. The health department has now approved the map. The map is now back before your board for signature to approve the 2 lots, plat that with the Suffolk County Clerk's Office. It's already been platted with the Department of Health. And then the town of Southampton will issue tax map numbers, and then we will proceed with individual applications on the 2 lots that have been created.
Right. And by individual application, you mean site plan approval for constructing those 2 different buildings. Is that what you're talking about?
That is correct.
Okay, got it. Does this make sense, everyone? Do you folks remember? Ron, you were not here then, but the others were.
Yeah, I remember.
Brian, I saw a preliminary approval, but I didn't see a final approval. I thought you were bringing it back with your health department now for final approval, in which case, going to the code, chapter 240, we have to set a public hearing for final public hearing.
That's correct. The health department will sign it when you guys approve it. They need you guys to take action for everybody to sign. So
In other
it'd
words,
be everybody signing the finalized maps.
you got preliminary approval, now you got your health department, but my understanding is you need final approval from this board, you're not on for signature today. You're on for final.
We had conditional approval from this board last year, and we had extended that over time because the health department took so long with their covenants and restrictions. So now that we came back, because the health department's finally been resolved, we're back before this board for what I believe to be finalization.
Cause I only have a preliminary approval.
We had I don't have it in front of me. Matt has it there. We had a conditional approval that had, I don't know, Matt could speak to a bunch of conditions that needed to be met for final approval.
Yeah, I can speak, then you want to speak to that?
Yeah, just.
If you could, Matt, because you have the list there. So we did have a conditional approval, and those conditions have now been met.
board, because if you need a final approval, like, I think you have a preliminary approval, that's what I saw in the file.
We,
If you need a final approval,
Matt, if-
you have
if-
to set a hearing.
You would, okay.
That's
If you could just introduce yourself at the podium, I
Yeah,
appreciate
Matt
that.
Ivan, Suffolk Environmental. Yeah, we did receive the preliminary approval in June, but we've been following up.
Yep.
We've been satisfying all conditions, and as of today, it's our belief we have everything we need for final approval.
Right, so that's what you've submitted to
Yeah.
request, okay. But that's different than just signature, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make sure. Okay, keep presenting, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Conditions you met.
Yeah, we're also looking for feedback, because we did submit all the conditions, we haven't heard anything from the board whatsoever, in terms of, we did file a covenant, we submitted the landscape plan,
Could you introduce yourself, please?
oh, sure, Matt Ivan, Suffolk Environmental. We submitted out the referrals, and again, as far as we're concerned, we've met all conditions on this. So again, that's what we're looking for, it's basically a final sign off, so we can go back to the county.
You have a covenanted
With the buffer.
wetland buffer in there? So I assume this went through the harbor committee, is that how that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And just so the board knows, we'll have to go back to the harbor committee for each of the individual lots once those are developed, separate from the subdivision process.
Right, right. The subdivision is the first step in this whole process.
Correct.
They do the individual ones. Remind me if you would, one of you, Matt, or I'm seeing two, and I think I know this from, I was not on the board a year ago. I'm seeing two driveway entrances. I want to make sure they understand that's correct
That is correct.
for lot number 1.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Lot one, yep.
Okay. Or potential for 2. I see a proposed driveway on the lot, but I don't see anything else. I see it's
We
going
wanna
away.
retain that secondary access to West Water Street.
So the curb cut remains.
Yeah.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Folks on the board, anyone have questions or comments about the subdivision or the plan here?
I don't have any questions.
No.
I wasn't here. I mean, do you typically review the conditions? And,
John should, or Nelson Pope should have reviewed the conditions.
okay, and so they just give us the go-ahead that they've met all
Yeah,
the.
we can have John Ellsworth walk through that. They were in the letter, I think, that Matt sent, but we can have John walk through as well.
Yeah, we submitted a memo that walks through the conditions, and they have met the conditions. They included, the stamp from the health department. The referrals have been made to the various agencies, ambulance corps, the school district, water authority, and the volunteer fire department. And there were no comments as a result of those referrals. The existing structures and sanitary systems on lot 1 have been removed, and that was another condition. The only thing that's not specifically in accordance with the conditions, and we don't think it's an issue, is that the plans were supposed to specify that the utilities be installed underground. But it's clear that that's what is the intent, and that that matter can be resolved during the building permit phase. So we think you can proceed in your decision tonight. The subdivision map specifies that 1 single-family residence shall be permitted for each lot. That's another condition that was fulfilled. Access to lot 2 is shown as exclusively from Glover Street, and that was another condition. The formal development of the lots, stormwater containment systems will be utilized, such as dry wells, when those lots are developed. That's another condition. Declaration of covenants regarding the establishment, and this came up a little earlier. Non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer was reviewed by the planning board, and the covenant was recorded with the county clerk. February 15, 2023, and a certified copy of same was provided to the planning board a couple of days later, and that was one of the conditions of the conditional approval. And finally, the preliminary plat was, approval was on June 28th, 2022. And that has been extended to January 23rd, 2024. So it's still an active application.
Okay,
Great.
good. And John, I'm thinking, as we mentioned earlier, I think the comments about the electric and other things coming underground, that can all be covered and on the site plan review of the individual lots when they come back to us, whenever that is, for building those properties out. Good. Liz, does this make sense to you? You had a question about whether we need a public hearing or something, but I'm not sure.
Well, I think, was there a public hearing of preliminary plat? Because the code states you get your preliminary approval and your conditions, you satisfy the conditions, and you submit your final application and your final plat, right? And it says the planning board shall have a public hearing, a public hearing, and this is section 240-8, submission of final plat, subdivision approval procedure. Section D1, a public hearing shall be held by the planning board after submission of final plat for approval. And it talks about.
Okay.
So I think we have to hold a hearing.
I think, I mean, I don't know, but we had a public, I'm pretty
did have a
sure we
public
had a
hearing?
public hearing.
We did on the
And-
preliminary, and we've had a
and,
few.
And then the conditions were set, but it was approved,
Okay,
is my recollection,
okay, so then.
without reviewing the minutes, but.
Okay, as long
That-
as it was-
And
That
then-
is correct. That's my
And
understanding.
then
my
there has
recollection.
been, I'm not sure exactly why, maybe because you're waiting for all your other approvals, Brian. There has been a gap in time.
Right, but as long
And
as the plan hasn't substantially changed from the preliminary, with
Right.
the same map, then you don't need to have another hearing, but you would if you hadn't had a hearing, so.
I think,
That,
I mean-
if I could just speak to that, we did have a public hearing. We did mail, we did notice. It is the same plat. The conditions were covenants and restrictions that were filed. The map has not changed. One of the conditions, obviously, which was the extensive condition, was demoing all the existing structures and everything there after the public hearing we had about a year and a half ago before the planning board.
Okay. That was my major question.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. So it seems like all the conditions have been met, if I understand everything correctly. And there are no more questions from the board here, I don't think. So, okay, so I think, so the next, I suppose, do we need to have something written up by NPV for us to sign, or do we just sign? I think we need,
Usually they write something up, I think.
yeah. John Ellsworth,
I
is
don't know
what?
if something was prepared for this meeting.
John Ellsworth, is there something we kick back to you for, to bring to us at the next meeting, say?
Yes, we can, if that, certainly, regarding procedure, I would defer to council, but, certainly if you send it back to us, we will, send you a final memo, to, indicate that it's ready for, your decision.
Okay. All right, so Liz, are we good with that then?
Yeah, they'll prepare us.
Then we will direct Nelson Pope and Voorhees to prepare that document for us, and then we can adopt it at the next meeting, I suppose, is how it would work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so there you are, John Ellsworth.
Yeah, got it.
Good. All right, so I think we're good to go then.
thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The person that was sitting here before, she's gone.
She was with, for the first one for Paige.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
see. Okay, got it.
So John, do you want to need a motion to take this?
Sure, you can do a motion to table it, sure.
A motion to table this item,
Yeah, for the next.
So,
Sorry.
so moved. Second.
seconded by Grania. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Carried.
The next meeting is November 28th.
That's right, that's right. So there's nothing else, there's no other hard business.
No.
But let me just say this, and I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this, but this is Kay's last meeting.
Oh, I was
Um,
not aware of
And
that.
I'm sorry to say that out
I
loud.
told Doris and Liz.
Yeah.
Um, But, I'm actually basically have moved to Shelter Island recently. And I still have my house here, but I've been renting it out.
Okay,
And they asked me to join a board on Shelter Island. And I feel, given all things, it's
spending
probably
more
the right
time there.
thing to do.
Right.
Although it was not without a lot of, it was hard for me to make that decision.
Right.
And it's been just a privilege.
Oh, well, Shelter Island could do you with your help. I'm sure.
But I'll probably be back in some way, shape, or form
I'm sure you will.
in the next decade.
Kay, you've been on this board for 7
7 years.
years,
Wow.
I think.
Yeah,
Which
four,
board
do you-
four mayors.
7 years and 4
Yeah.
mayors. Okay,
And
good.
you've been,
good.
you guys have been here the
Yep.
whole time with me. And actually, I've learned really a lot from everyone, and I really appreciate it. It's been such a great experience.
Well, it's definitely a pleasure having you here.
Thanks. Yeah,
And thank you, Kay, for your leadership.
thank you.
Thank you for
Yes.
your service. It was through some good times and some difficult times that we did this together, and you really showed strength and hard work and leadership. Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you. Yeah, anyway, my pleasure, and I'll hopefully, you guys will see me around for sure. All right.
Good luck.
Thank you, Kay.
Good luck.
We're gonna miss you here.
Nice.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah.
But we're all gonna visit you over there in Shelter Island, so be prepared.
I'll give you some vegetables. from
All right, on that note, I guess we can adjourn this meeting unless there's anything else, Liz, that you need to talk about.
Nope.
I think we're good to go. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Kay and
Second.
seconded by Nat. All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned, and thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Night, everybody.
Take care, good night.
thank you.
Thank you. Which board are you joining on Shelter?
So do you know Deer